Hi guys, it's that time again. Which is better? And this will be an Assassin special. So if you like thrash metal or just curious, then this is for you. And we're going to be looking at Interstellar Experience and the upcoming Terror. And before I can continue, I will leave you links in the description to check out songs by Testament, Exodus and Death Angel, as well as links to check out my Instagram and Twitter pages. There you get to see what bands I'm listening to and what my band merch collection looks like. So looking at the album Interstellar Experience, it just feels like an X-Files adage as it goes, much like the album's cover art. And as we know, the truth is out there. Past the bizarre concept of one of Batman's arch rivals seemingly in exile, the Cape Crusader into a interstellar hallucination courtesy of his exopanized chemical concoction that adorns the cover. This is a strong, albeit somewhat brief showing for late 80s thrash opus. But in the auditory department, the former functions as a well-crafted punk cleaning gimmick that amounts to a decent nuclear assault addition to what is a largely more Exodus-oriented romp. A sentiment that is further buoyed by the latter joke song being intense enough for a riff monster to pass through something out of the heavier side of the mid-80s. Truth be told, between the extremely raw and abrasive guitar tone and Robert Jonner's almost emulation of Schemer's snarling tone, a more apt description of how this album works is more along the lines of a slightly poor man's release from agony rather than an outright late 80s pizza and beer thrash fest. Barring these two obvious aforementioned exceptions, the lion's share of this album functions on a more frenetic and power-based level that is more in line with its intermediate predecessor. Right out of the gate, the riff-oriented brutality is laid down with a fast-paced explosion of militarized mayhem that is abstract war, reaching levels of carnage comparable to that of Internal Devastation as a flashy lead guitar and glassy bass runs pain over a high-octane mini-epic. Honestly, the main riff work and chaotic drumming are a staple of this album's magic. Bassist Marcus Ludwig all but steals the show with an array of rapid pluck bass that runs right through that might have established him through as thrash metal's answer to Joey DeMaio if he had done a couple of outlandish bass solos and not just dropped out of the metal scene at the end of the 80s. Though the song Abstract War basically ends up stealing the show by throwing everything at the listener but the kitchen 80s sink right at the beginning. A couple of similarly frenzied thrashers like AAGD and Revolution 588 do a commendable job in pounding out the fury in the lead of a song Shadow. Barring a minute of so trippy, John Cobbett inspired ambient keyboard noise during the tail end of the album's instrumental title song Interstellar Experience, it's all a pretty conventional excursion through tectonic thrash warfare that never really lets up. It has a strong working class demeanour to it, and it would unfortunately be underscored by the fact that this band called it a day too soon, and this was down to the fact that their equipment was stolen and unfortunately being too broke to afford new gear. Maybe it was just the final straw, or maybe Deutsche Bank didn't trust five guys with long hair and denim to pay back a loan. But as noted previously, the truth is out there. My words to Deutsche Bank, don't prejudge. Switching gears, we're going to look at the upcoming Terror. Now, a friendly reminder, Assassin is a great band and this is their first album. It's definitely a cult classic within the thrash metal scene. They might not be as well known as other bands, but their music surely is worth a simple mention. The years in which this debut was put down were the years in which thrash metal was reaching the top in inspiration and songwriting. The fury of the first wave was also becoming a bit more technical and mature if we want, without losing their original impact and pureness. This album, thrash metal and the classic speed metal clashed together to create the first assault, Forbidden Reality. The introduction is dark and made a strange noises and explosions before the first mid-paced riff enters. The apocalyptic touch never fades away as we go on in terms of intensity. The production is simple and direct, conversing pureness for great genre. The drums are inevitably reminiscent of the 80s, with a loud volume and hammering sound, especially for the bass drums as well. The lead lines do a great work before the sudden tempo upstart. The guitars are now on the fast palm muting riffs and shredded solo. The drums are always on speed, but we can always do a remark as a way to switch up tempo. The vocals are the classic German thrash ones that are angry and raspy. They're the sort of way between the ones of Melee and Shkima. The tremolo riffs are for the less impulsive parts and introducing the gloomy, heavy mid-pace sections. The song Nemesis has a truly schizophrenic and almost death thrash beginning with a few stops. The solos are intense as the music is, with lots of uncompromised shreds and fast notes. What I mean is that the riffs have the facility to be always remembered even if the songs are so brutal. The speed metal elements can be found in bigger qualities in the following fight song, and the classic sonic touch is always present. The galloping riffs in the mid-pace sections sound so damned heavy, but restarts are even mind-blowing as well. The song The Last Man features a bass intro and a mid-paced progression, whereas the darker parts into a lot of dynamic restarts. The terrific drums rolls to mosh the impossible. The frantic power of this band seems to know no limits, and they like to massacre our ears. The band now displays all its power and goodness on the arpeggios to create a melodic introduction. Soon the guitars enter the melodic touch, and it just remains unvaried. This time the mid-pace progression is preferred, but the refrain is more recognizable. The song Holy Terror returns to one place of palm muting and long solo section by the end, which it just sounds unbelievable. This is the straightforward brutality as the vocals set on the truly nasty schizophrenic tonalities to complete the entire scenario. The song Bullets features a long drum intro to follow on the high-speed tempo. The brutality is again tremendous, and as the refrain cannot come out of my mind, and the mid-pace section contains the dark and apocalyptic solos. This song Speed of Light says everything about it. The tremolo riffing is just viciously dark, and the up-tempo seems never-ending. The dynamism and the completeness of these songs is something truly enviable. They always manage to pop a few more melodic inserts for the solos, but the rest is incredibly vicious and compact, so it's just matchable album. And believe me, if you love thrash, you cannot skip this album. This is intensity, this is just attitude, it's just pure thrash. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.